the Chief Market Analyst at Zenifix, a financial consultancy company. Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, overnight, the Nasdaq closed at a 14-year peak, while the S&P 500 is hovering around record levels. Is the market ripe for a pullback now, or do you expect further gains?
I think we should expect further gains in the market. We have seen the pullback in Dow and S&P last month. Nasdaq, we haven't quite seen that yet, but momentum overall still points to the upside. I think we could even see 4,585 very soon for the Nasdaq, and for the S&P 500 and Dow, we might even see a new high very soon.
Now, the annual gathering of central bankers at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is taking place later this week. Are we expected to see more hawkish rhetoric from the Federal Reserve?
I think the FOMC is probably going to play it safe a little bit this time around. Look, they have been doing a good job keeping the inflation rate from going any higher. Plus, the numbers from the U.S. has been a little bit mixed. It was good, but it was not over the top good. So you can see in how the market reacts to it. The sentiment is pretty much very bullish. They are kind of expecting that the Fed is going to stick to whatever they have mentioned before and keep the interest rates low for a more prolonged period of time here. So no.
All right. RBA Governor Glenn Stevens and his deputy Phil Lowe are going to be speaking before Parliament today. Are we going to hear more about uncertainties around economic growth?
Yeah, I think we are going to be hearing about that. The RBA meeting minutes that was released yesterday points to a concern with the overall GDP growth. I think RBA's wording was to slow down to a more moderate pace. I think we are going to be seeing that being brought up in the testimony today by the Glenn Stevens there.
Unemployment rose to a 12-year high of 6.4% in July, and commodity prices have fallen sharply since the start of the year. Is another rate cut still possible?
Possible, but there's no any strong indications from the economic data that we could be seeing a rate cut very soon. It's a very tough balance that the RBA has maintained here. Otherwise, it could actually tip that inflationary balance. So. As of yet, we don't see any indication, but we're not ruling out that possibility.
The Australian share market hit a fresh two-week high yesterday. Do you see more gains for the rest of the year?
We could see more gains, but it'll be more moderate. The slowdown in the mining sector in Australia, that's likely going to weigh it down. So even if the U.S. markets, the European market pretty much gain overall in terms of momentum to the upside, we're not going to be seeing the same kind of speed or pace that we see overseas here in Australia.
Is the Australian dollar overvalued against the greenback, taking into account a recent drop in prices for key commodities like iron ore and coal?
Yes, I think the Aussie dollar has been overvalued for quite a while, and that is actually one of the main concerns that RBA has. It's actually kind of slowing down, it's hampering the transition from investment sectors into any other sectors in Australia because of that high dollar. I think the main cause is the interest rates here. I think it's just too attractive. We're not going to be seeing the Australian dollar becoming more fair valued until we see the US starts hiking the interest rates. So it is still overvalued at this point in time.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for that. Vito Henjoto of Zenifix in Sydney. And turning to other news, some Russian banks are choosing